This is my idea for a rhythm game I wanted to do, and I've been thinking about like nonstop while I was sick, and the idea kind of like evolved a little as I was getting better. I was like, this would be a cool idea. So imagine. Alright, where do we start? Start with, it's a rhythm game where you're rail grinding and it's got paint in it, so basically the little the paint from the end of this hair like ponytail paintbrush thing going on back here also paints alongside the rail that you're grinding on. And you gotta like hit enemies and jump over obstacles to the beat of the song. I'm thinking that each obstacle is like tied to a different type of instrument too, like either like the percussion ish, the either the bass or the percussion, like the bass of the song, where it's like the beats, or like things you jump over, and then like the notes for like the melodies and stuff will be like these little guys, which I've named Beatsies, and I love them. Ooh, video game. So, how does it play? I have this. This is how I imagine it play. We'll explain the story in a bit, but this is the idea for it playing. You're on the little rail, and as you're going along, you're painting it, so it restores its true color again. You have little magic orbs where you can, I believe this is under how to play 2, where you can hit enemies to the beat. I had the idea also that there's like a shadow of where the paintbrush hair is supposed to be hitting, and like the closer you can get to that, it's the closest to a perfect you can get in the song. It's just basically hitting all the right jumps, but I feel like it would also have splashes for where the enemies get splooted. So there's basically just each little character who I unintentionally may have made them look just like my old Boku no Hero OC who was about paint. It was unintentional. I just drew the character, and then way later I realized, hey, wait a minute, that's just Nishima. Hey, hold on a second. Let's see if I can find a picture of Nishi. There he is. This is his old ref, actually. Almost looks like him, but there are some differences, but still. Like, old Nishi. Still love how I did the brush for him, but anyways. You have the little enemies that come along to the, I imagine there'll be like these little lines back here, which is just the tempo. Lets you tell where it is. A little easier. This is where to hit stuff, is this little wall. There's also in the preview, it's the wall. You put the preview on top, so if I ever put it up here, it's not like covered. There's Sploon music in the background right now. Oh my god, the cat bopping I think goes with it. It's going with it from my visuals. Let's hope it's actually going with it in the actual video, so. This is the upcoming rail. It's like sparkly and basically like, hey, this ain't here. I imagine there'll also be pits that you have to jump over too, but let's see. I'm gonna show the little characters I was drawing. Some of these are unfinished. There's an unfinished doodle of one of them back here who's like the tutorial elder. He's supposed to look like a future-ish version of this character, but also like slightly like you can't really tell. The fun thing is about their magic is that it changes the color of their eyes. Whichever color magic you're going in, which the magic color is based on what level it is. Like you're going through like, oh, this is the red level, we're gonna be using red magic the whole time, or it's blue, so it's blue magic. I gotta find a better way to splotch paint on this thing so it doesn't look so messy, but I wanted to be simpler than this, but I haven't. This was just the first draft. These are the little enemies. There's the one note, which I've named Beatsy. Then there's double Beatsy, triple Beatsy, which are like the let me get my pen out. Just basically these notes. This is a half Beatsy. He's half drawn actually. The other eye is supposed to be like white. They're friends. This is a long note. A long Beatsy. It goes on for however many beats. Probably like whole notes essentially, but here's your half note. Half Beatsy. It flutters along. I don't have a name for the main character yet, besides there's just they're here. And they're very gender neutral because I don't. Who cares? More of a who cares about making them either a boy or a girl kind of who cares, not like, hey, fuck you, kind of who cares. I came out way more aggressive when I said who cares. Auto mod. I can allow fucks. No fucks with gender. The mood. Let's see. Now this was where I was doodling the. Oh, this guy's called Long Deets. I forgot. I would like music help. Thing is, I'm not sure this game I want to do, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know if I have the time and or resources and or like energy to put into it, considering I've got other projects I'm working on, such as, you know, Crossing the Threshold, which I'm working on. I've planned out like the first several chapters of Crossing the Threshold. I just need to fucking draw them out. It's taking a while to do that. Ugh. But I want to do this. Slowly I might. Alright. I don't know why I put this in the enemies layer, but it's here. It's basically the idea for the amount of levels, the level layout. Alright, let me explain. You come into a world just like it's drained of color and magic. Everything's broken here. There's fucking nothing. This magical paintbrush. Hold on. New layer, please. Magical paintbrush. Who's like the spirit of the god of creation or whatever. It's just like, you gotta help us, dude. We've run out of magic. There's no color in the world. It's sad. It's depressing. We need your help. And the little guy's just like, okay, I'll help. And then it turns into their little ponytail. That's what it's like the magical words. It attaches to their head as a little ponytail, and and they can actually paint with it, and it's the god of creation speaking to them through this. And they're so tough. They have this magic. Like Midas Cap, yeah, basically. I can hear like the spirit's voice through the paintbrush. Ah. And then old elder comes out and shows you how to fucking grind those rails. And I was like, do I want them to be an old elder? Of course I do. What would be cooler than seeing a grandma fucking shredding it on these rails? Just like... Y'all better catch up. Old lady out shredding you. But yes, she's the little tutorial. She teaches you how to jump over things like the spikes and how to like beat up the little guys. Do you like my actually I just realized, do you like my first idea of what they would look like? Whoa! Whoa, Whitehawk 2626, thank you for following. Where was I? How the world works. Yes, alright. That's the map, right? This little area. There's like a whole big area where there's these towers around the continent, and each of these towers leads like... Alright, let's see if I can explain this. Back them kids with their stick. Yes. So as an example of the red one, these ones are like extra levels. These ones are the extra levels. The main levels are the circles over here. So we got the gate to the red level, and it's a whole long windy rail. I'm trying to figure out how I want this to work, because basically how it's going to work is you have to either to or from, you have to ride down the rail, which fixes the mana flow and like makes it work again, and suddenly red magic is flowing back into the center. And you've unlocked that cool power. Like, wow, I don't know if that's a power you want to unlock. It's just a cool rhythm game. Let's see. Essentially, there are 6 main towers around this whole continent. That's what's important. The center is like the central city that's just frozen in stone or something like that. You gotta go through and bring magic back to the town, the city, by fixing these little basically the little rails are like the actual citizens can't really see or interact with them as much as well. It's more like seeing a rainbow in the sky kind of thing, like, ooh, pretty. Like you can see it, and they can see like the effect of it, like it's whoa, cool, red magic. They can't interact with it the same way the main character can, because they have the god of creation on their side. They can actually touch. Oh, touch it. Kind of like the main character is the only one who can physically interact with it. Everyone else would just kind of pass through it, like. Touch. And how do Grandma? Grandma's a special case because she's the tutorial grandma, and also she's like a special one, I think. I don't know if she's like a god herself. Touch. Don't touch. We have to touch, otherwise, you know, can't do it. Where was I? What was Grandma's case to this? How is she able to grind those rails? God, Grandma, probably. She can touch all she wants. I don't know, I'm thinking either she's like... It's either some weird time stuff where she is like your future self, or it's like she's just another like mythical being of some sort that's just high up on the power range as where the god of creation is. It's that powerful she can interact with it like this. She doesn't have the creative powers though, so she can't actually paint over anything. So during the tutorial level, she's literally just kind of on top. She is grinding on it, but it got the illusion of paint covering it, but nothing's actually happening to it. She can touch. The idea is to, once we restore all the power, it unlocks the final level. What? Which would be like just a cool black and white stylized level. I imagine actually to upgrade the like difficulty in it, there will be eventually parts where you have to switch rails. There'll be like multiple rails appearing and you gotta like hop up and down them depending on what's coming, like a giant fucking wall that you can't actually pass. And the like the shadow version of it will tell you if you're going up or down in it. I had a cool idea where it was there's a point where you like do like a cool backflip. And it like activates a little thing like how do I describe this? Will there be bosses? I kind of want bosses actually. Like imagine a giant fucking dude on one end, like rawr, and you gotta like rail grind in front of him like, oh god. And he can just like make giant spikes appear and stuff like that. You gotta jump over. The worst fucking arrows I can draw. I think it'd be cool bosses you have to fight. Like maybe at the end, maybe it should be you get to the tower by... You have to grind all the way to the tower, which is like the normal level. And then you gotta go... on the way back, it's a little boss. Where you're grinding on like the finished rail, where it's all fixed. And you gotta fight a big old guy who just came out of the tower. He's like, hey, no you don't, I'm breaking this thing again. And you're like, oh no you don't, I'm gonna get you. Pew pew. Hog this man's champ. Another cool thing I've thought of, kind of just now really, is remember that there's these little extra levels too. You're my little pod champ. What I want to do with those is like, you unlock them by doing the ones in between them. Like imagine I imagine the first ones you're able to do would be the probably the primary color ones that you can go down and do. And each, of course, I think each one will also have like little symbols over them, so it's not just like you know, so like the poor colorblind viewers can tell which ones go where. After you do that, these like the secondary color ones unlock, and they'll have like kind of like combined, I don't know, like some kind of somewhere where it combines the shapes a little bit in the house. Something like this. I don't know. I'll think of something better, cooler than whatever this is. But let me move this down. It's a little in the way. And say you do, you're like, alright, so I finished red and blue. You unlock purple. And then if you do that, then you can, and there's these, like, these two levels, which are like bonus levels, I think. Which I have here, there's, silver. And then there's just like, pink. I need to come up with something other than pink and magenta, because it's just so close. it's just like, one of these two is pink and one of these two is magenta, and I just, someone has a better idea. This looks like a sad face. It's my mood. There's cyan, and there's just like a dark green, and then there's gold. Barbie and salmon. I'm calling this one forest. This one will just be cyan. This one can be a little darker, I think. A little more dark green. What's funny is that these two pinks are actually like, one is closer to purple, and then one is just closer to red. So it's just like, I don't know what to do with these. The magic of unlocking levels. These are just bonus ones. They don't lead to towers or anything. They just think they would lead to like cool secret spots that you can be like, oh, nice. I kind of want to add extra bits to this game. Like, I don't know what else we would add to it though. The thing. Like, what would you want to unlock to be cooler? Like, more songs, obviously. Maybe the old Rhythm Heaven perfect mode where you gotta go through the whole song without failing. If you get all of them, you get like the mythical Pokemon Gray version. I think of like in between the black and white. Ooh. I would love to do, if it's a rhythm game like this, there has to be a way to make your own levels. I gotta say, the inspiration for this game did come from watching way too much Everhood. I watched through the whole game while I was sick, and then I was like, I want to make a rhythm game. Ooh, costumes would be cute. Our little costumes, we put a little guy in. Put him in like a little, Have I played Hugh? I feel like I've heard the name. The sailor outfit. Yeah. Platform based on. I think I have heard of Hugh actually. It sounds familiar now that I think about it. Is it the one where you, when you like splat against walls, it like puts colors on it, like paint? Actually, you know what? Better idea. Instead of like a little sailor hat, I'm gonna put a pirate hat on. How do I draw a pirate hat? Certain color, change the background of the same color, replace these things. I think I remember this game. It's been a while though since I think I've seen it, so I'm like half remembering. Pirate. Chef outfit. That would be adorable. Hold on. Maybe that's where the bonus ones lead off to, like little outfits, or just like just different challenges you do based on the game. Give you different things. Yeah. Way. It's fun little outfits for your character. It'd be so cute. I also had the idea that as you're grinding on the rail, I think you probably noticed from the preview that it starts out gray in the background, and as you're coming through, it's turning, actually changing color to the actual color of what it used to be. Another aspect of it, I think would be cool. You're literally fixing the world here. Bringing back the magic colors to this place. Ooh, depending on which one you start with. I don't know how I would program this, actually. But the idea of it would be cool is, say you unlock red first, then like in later stages, you'll see like the reds in the background that are already there, and then as you're going on, the other color you're adding adds onto it. I don't know how you would do that. It would be cool. Like, it'd have to be like a checking which levels you've done first, basically. But like, well, you did the red level, so all like levels of red have been unlocked here. And then you come back over it and you're like, what? Now you're doing blue? Now you got purples coming in because of the blue, and then the purple makes it even cooler purple. Like, whoa, this is actually a purple bush the whole time. Color has a main instrument. I was thinking about that actually. I don't know how I would do it, because I was already thinking of like the different enemies and things being different, like parts of the song. But What if each color is just a different genre of music? Who wants to go down Orange Country? Yeehaw. Ah, dude, another idea is Cowboy. Look at the mustache. Little vest. Spends all the time dressing up the main character rather than actually designing the game. What haven't I gone over? Who's got fun questions I could try to answer on how this is already working? In case I didn't say it good enough. Good drawing. I like this one. It's the S. No one talk about the S. Explained it pretty good. Nice. I'm gonna sit here and eat some noodles then. How the fuck am I gonna make the game? That's what I don't know, man. I'm probably gonna have to teach myself stuff. What's the villain? I'm not sure yet. I don't think I've made the villain of this story. Who's turning this? No, let's come up with them together. Who's turning this place gray? He's got to be all like stone colored. Never mind, I can't see that on my background. Some kind of some kind of evil being that's sucking all the life force out of the world. Whoa. You know what? The other character has the gimmick of the main character has like the paintbrush off the hair. What if we did some kind of hair thing with them too? I don't know what. Hungry for colors in real life? Me. Mantis shrimp. Oh no! What up? I got 2 huge claws and I'm here to beat your ass. Big meaty claws. Imagine ponytails but with claws. This is how I usually do character design anyways. I just go through a few ideas, so let's see if I can't just whip something out. Looks a little dumb. I'm thinking some kind of warlock, of course. Wizard. Evil wizard. Some kind of... The real question is, do I want them to be humanoid like the main character? I kinda do. Long sleeves. Cat girl. Hmm. Hmm. I kind of like the idea of just giant claws on the end here, but I don't know. That looks like Elsa actually. Now I look at her for something about this hair swoosh made it look like Elsa for a split second. I don't know what it is. Hmm. Hanabaz is just a rock. It's just a rock. It's a boulder. Hmm. Hmm. Giant scorpion tail. Scorpion ponytail is actually a cool idea. I'm gonna do something with the hair, dude. Hmm. Shrink you away. I can messing around with these. How Garrett does character design live on stream. Takes him a while. Looking extra depressed wizard. I get those eye bags in. No one else is allowed to have colors. Maybe if I steal all the colors, they'll make me happy again. And then they're like, ah, shit, wait, that didn't work. Little mouth at the end of the hair like a Mawile or whatever. I don't remember what the original yokai name is. That Mawile is based off of. The lady with like the mouth, like a mouth up on the end of their hair. There's your problem. You've got a fucking monster in your ponytail. Can you get it out? No. Oh no. I actually really like this character now. I think we've stumbled upon it. This is the character. Looks so tired, that's true. Kind of starting to look like my old OC shadow that I'm actually revamping. Uh oh. The opposite magic to you. Extra tired. I really like this character actually. Elaine. What shall I name them? I don't know, because the main character doesn't even have a name yet. I feel like I should name the main character first. What character does it remind you of? I can't help you with that. I don't know who you're thinking of. Sorry. You're floating, by the way, if you can tell. The character lineup, essentially. I just want to see these two together. It's the poofy sleeves. God of Creation's not a fan. I'll put me next to that thing, you kidding me? Who's the hero and who's the villain? How can you tell? Very obvious, actually. It's pretty dang obvious. I don't get how I want the monster to look, essentially. Just imagine a terrifying creature about to chomp on you. It's made of hair. Bayonetta. Oh god. Most lazy braids you can imagine. There's also hair. The tongue is just hair too. Watch out, he's gonna chomp you. Can't think of anything else. How long have I gone for? Oh, about an hour. I think I Google searched once, like, I was still while I was sick, but I was really thinking about this idea, so I was just like, Google search how to make a rhythm game. It's just like, oh yeah, I guess you could use Unity and I figure it out, or like, There was a short time where I was like, I don't know if I want it to be 3D or 2D, but I think I'm pretty much like, yeah, 2D, because I also just want to do the art and animations for the game. That's like where my head's at. But also just because programming sucks. I don't want to have to think about coding stuff. The most coding I've ever done was fix my Tumblr theme. Like, I am not... I'd have to teach myself all of that, and that's already like, oof. Another reason why I'm not sure if I'll make this game or not, but I want to. Probably take me like forever though, just because I have to do all that. Either that, or I get money to actually pay someone else to program it for me. I'll just work on all the art assets. Which would also probably come down to hiring other people to do that part too, and then it'll be turned into a whole like You have a whole fucking game company thing, like tiny group of people you've got working for you to make this rhythm game. Like, perhaps. This would probably be a good project to do like a what do you call it? I just like blinked. Oh, Kickstarter, I was what I was thinking of. Some kind of Kickstarter thing. Really gain money for this. But the thing is, I'm probably not even gonna think about actually fleshing this game out or anything until like I actually know I have the time, energy, and resources and stuff to do it. But in the future, perhaps. Sounds like a cool idea. What y'all think? You like my idea of a rhythm game? While I sit here and eat noodles into the microphone? I want to play this game. Like, I'm just thinking of like potential things about it, like being able to put like the visuals with the music, timing the little note guys to it, potentially coming up with new obstacles and challenges to face during the rail grinding stuff, tempo changes on the rails to really add difficulties to it, the option to have like a whole like level editor in the game so it can be super easy to put in whatever audio you want and then map out the notes you want to it. I think that would be the real thing that would probably make it a popular game to like be invested in, is the fact that you could like make your own levels however you'd want. You do whatever color you want to, like you could shift colors in those bits as well. And then you just have story mode, which is the whole lore. But I imagine there'd be like whenever you beat a level in story mode, it'll be unlocked in like a free mode on the side. So if you just want to go through the songs and you don't want to have to open up the levels, like the actual world map, and go to the levels and stuff, you just play the songs on their own. Man, I want this game to be real now. I think that's my whole fucking pitch I've got. I don't know if there's a whole lot else beyond like what the bosses would look like or something, you know? Like I now have what the villain kind of looks like. Their whole motivation, of course, is just like, I'm depressed and I want all the colors to be mine, because they could just do that. They could just steal all the colors with all the magic, so they're like, you know what? Fuck your colors, they're all mine. Turns the whole world gray because they stole like the important bits in the towers that really make it so they flow through. It'll either be that they want to steal it for themselves, or they just want to break all the stuff just to be like, now you get to experience how I feel. And then like the like final boss is gonna be against them, like a whole black and white stage. Like a Bad Apple style where it switches every now and then to between the two. This is definitely a game that would have a flash warning, a flashing lights warning on the front of it, because like I imagine with the bright ass neon colors I want to use in it, it's gonna get a little eye strain-y. Ah, my eyes. Hmm. Time to drive. I can have the right size picture. Play your music. Mhm. Ooh, scary. Watch out, it's the final boss. I think I've exhausted my whole idea. At least what I figured out so far. Any last cool ideas anyone's got? It's cool if no one can think of anything. Give they a smooch. Good. I need one. I really like this design. I gotta say. I think that's it. And I might end the stream here, and then who knows? Maybe I'll have another stream where I do more with this idea. This is a very short stream compared to what I would normally do, but I'm tired, so. Anyways. Thank you for sticking with me and letting me literally just spew this idea out into a video, so technically I'll have this for later. If I ever forget anything, I can just look at this VOD again. But yeah. I don't know when I'll be streaming next, because I think the next 2 weeks will just be us moving, and I'm not looking forward to it. Ugh. So I'll just yell when I'm actually going to be able to stream again. So I hate having my schedule just up in the air and confused. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Ah. But anywho, thank you for watching. I don't know what I'll be doing for my next stream or anything, but I imagine I hope my next stream will be Pokemon Coliseum. It'll probably be that, but who knows? Go back to Coliseum. Maybe I'll just die on camera. No, I'm kidding. Alright, bye bye.